Hi, sorry, I was bird watching. It is almost Christmas, so I had the great idea to make a chocolate cake. This is the kicker, it's gotta be gluten-free and vegan. Sometimes you have to enjoy the little things in life. Sometimes life is about baking a chocolate cake for the first time. While I do that, I thought I might talk about the books that I want to read in the upcoming year. I have to find the list. The kicker is, I don't know where I put it. Oh, whoa, wait. I think I put it on my phone. Hold on. Everybody hold on. Oh, I found it. Okay. Hold on, I actually have to introduce you. There's this painting, where'd it go? There's this painting called The Cupid Seller by J.M. Vien. Isn't that so great? Wouldn't that be so fun to write a short story about? It's got this woman selling cupids. Everybody's so creative, you know? Okay, so I have a list of books that I want to read in the upcoming year. I am gonna have to look up descriptions on them because one thing about me, I don't really know what any of the books that I want to read are about. I'm gonna get the cake started first, actually. We're gonna get the cake started first, and then we're gonna get on the choo-choo train, right? Shut the f up. Okay, I have the recipe on my phone, so I have to put it on my computer so I can actually see it. This is called the best vegan chocolate cake recipe. If it's not the best vegan chocolate cake I've ever eaten, someone's getting bonked. I can tell you that right now. So I need... Oh my god. So we're gonna have to ectionay on this, apparently. Okay, so I make the whole thing myself. Never mind. Already hot, so I'm going to put my hair up. I need apple cider vinegar. I unfortunately don't know where that would be. If I were apple cider vinegar, I have the apple cider vinegar. Does this stuff ever go bad? Next, I need all-purpose flour. I think this is where we might have to end the video. Wait! Saved it! Granulated sugar. We need baking soda? Is this baking soda? I need baking powder. Salt. I have salt. Unsweetened applesauce. I have... Where is that? Found it! Vanilla extract. I need boiling water and almond or soy milk, but we're actually going to subvert that and go oat milk. I know. This seems like a buttwad of ingredients. I have to preheat the oven. It's gonna get really hot, so I'm gonna put my hair up like I said I was going to like 5 minutes ago. Grease 2 cake pans. It wants 8-inch cake pans, and I don't know... Does this look like 8 inches? Where does one find an 8-inch pan? And to have 2 of them? Who just hasn't 2 8-inch pans lying around? Is this 8 inches? Chad, it might be over before it started, I'm not gonna lie. Wait! Have we or have we not been blessed by the baking gods today? It says lined with parchment. Measure 1 cup unsweetened milk. A tablespoon of vinegar. What vinegar is doing in a cake, I have no clue. But this recipe has been put together by people who are presumably more experienced than I in these matters. But then you also think, well, isn't that what they want you to think? You know, they want you to not question the authority. So maybe I'm just being a sheep right now. How much? A tablespoon. I don't know if I actually have a tablespoon. That seems like something from Myth. My oven's making noises. How long can an oven stay preheated before it explodes? Stir slightly and set aside to curdle. We're curdling milk? Back to what I was saying. Where's the list of books I want to read? It's called No Nightingales. And I have to look up the synopsis. Goodreads actually has no information on this book. I don't even think it's in print anymore. One of the books that I want to read in 2026 is called No Nightingales. It's by Carol Brahms and S.J. Simon. From what I remember, this book is about ghosts, and it's about, apparently it's kind of comedic, I think. It's about two ghosts. I think Google is actually providing no help right now, and I can't remember where I got the book synopsis from. Does that look like 2 cups to you? It's the title is a reference to a classic British song, which I had never heard of before. It's called A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. Apparently the book is inspired by a legend of 50 Berkeley Square, which is a house, an apartment in Berkeley Square, which is supposedly haunted. I think it's set during World War I, or they might be ghosts from World War I. I'm so unhelpful, actually. But there are these 2 ghosts, and I think it's like a comedic kind of book. I'm not... That's really all I have for you on that one. This is like average American diet. That is more sugar than there is flour. This other book I actually have already. It's called Perfume, The Story of a Murderer. And I do need to look that up as well because I don't remember what it was about. You know what? Let's see how close I am. So what I think it's about is, I think it's about a guy who's apprenticed as a perfumer and he kills somebody. That's what I think it's about. Now let's look up I'm getting a little wild with this. It's getting a little rowdy in here, guys. How much? 3/4 of a cup. Oh my! Guys, it's rising. Is it supposed to rise? And would this be a teaspoon, good sir? Clabber Girl. Wow. Let's look up what Perfume, the Story of a Murderer is. There's a movie? Dog! No, like the book. What's the book about? Horror. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna read this straight off of Wikipedia. The story follows Jean-Baptiste Grenouille, an unloved orphan in 18th century France who is born with an exceptional sense of smell, capable of distinguishing a vast range of scents in the world around him. He becomes a perfumer, but later becomes involved in murder when he encounters a young girl with an unsurpassed wondrous scent. Baking powder. Powder? Oh my god, you all seen Arcane? It was published in 1985. It's 263 pages. You know, I wanted to read The Count of Monte Cristo because... So I started that maybe a month ago, and then I just never finished it. Like, I never kept... I think I read like maybe 15, 20 pages. You would be aghast to see the amount of books that I have started and have not followed through with. I have an entire book cart full of them. I do hear that The Count of Monte Cristo is absolutely peak in a way that I can't fathom. 1 cup boiling water? Who is gonna tell me that? I know that it's about some guy whose name starts with an E. He's wrongly, I think, imprisoned, and then I think he breaks out and gets revenge or something, but that's all I know. I'm gonna start putting things away. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go. So I have to cook for 30 to 35 minutes, so let's do that. And this is going in. It's in! You might have thought it was over, but you would have been mistaken. I also have to make the icing. But before that, I was talking about a book. It's called All Men Are Mortal, and it's by Simone de Beauvoir. Okay, so it's about a man who's cursed to live forever. We're gonna read the plot off of Wikipedia again because apparently I can't be bothered to remember the plot of the books that I want to read. So there's an actress, her name's Regine, I'm not sure. She meets Raymond, who reveals to her that he is immortal. And this is in the 1930s in France, by the way. Of course, she thinks, oh, I want to be immortal too, right? But not in the way you might think. Apparently, she thinks she could be immortal by way of engaging in a romance with him, by which she would live in his memory. And in that way, she would be immortal. I'm a big fan of tragedy, you know? I'm a big fan of extremely just stuff that makes you contemplate what it is to be human and the human experience, you know? Big fan of that stuff. I also haven't read anything by Simone de Beauvoir. I have a feeling I'm not gonna need parchment paper for the icing frosting. I don't look at recipes before I make them, which is, I think, a pro move. The next book I own it! The Annual Banquet of the Gravediggers Guild. Goodreads does have a description for this one, so let's read that while actually we need to look at how do I make frosting? I gotta clean all this stuff first, give me a sec. Oh, I didn't put a timer on! Whisk well to remove clumps. The Annual Banquet of the Gravediggers Guild is about, so I'm gonna read it straight off Goodreads. You could absolutely just shut me off and then go read that. To research his thesis on contemporary agrarian life, anthropology student David Mazon moves from Paris to La Pierre-Saint-Christophe, a village in the marshlands of western France. Determined to capture the essence of rurality, the intrepid scholar shuttles around restlessly on his moped to interview local residents. Unbeknownst to David, in these nondescript lands, once theaters of wars and revolution, death leads the dance. Oh. When an existence ends, the wheel of life recycles its soul and hurls it back into the world as microbe, human or wild animals, sometimes in the past, sometimes in the future. Only once a year do gravediggers gorge themselves on food, libations, and language, presided over by the village mayor. What? That sounds fantastic. I have no clue what that means. That sounds like a good book. I think I'm still really on that perfumer one. I think I could whisk this one. I don't think I could whisk this one. Let's do 5. No, 7. I don't know. I really don't know. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Whisking it, but I can't whisk it at too high a velocity, you know? Lest it puff. The next one, what is the next one? I don't remember. Oh, In Memoriam. Okay. So what I know about that one is also very little. I do know that this is a new book by Alice Wynne. It's about two young soldiers in World War I who I believe fall in love. Half a cup. This is going to be a nightmare. All right, okay. There's one. We're gonna go for two. Whew. It tastes sweet in the air. The amount of sugar is astronomical. It works better when you hug it. I'm having such a good time. Hug it. We did it! Now we just have to wait for it to bake. And I don't have any toothpicks to test if it's baked or not. I don't have any wooden toothpicks, so we're just gonna have to use the plastic kind and destroy the earth. I'm going to clean up while I talk to you. So I don't remember what book I was talking about last. Oh, In Memoriam! Okay, I do want to read this book because it seems right up my alley. The violence of the front feels far away to Henry Gaunt, Sidney Elwood, and the rest of their classmates, safely ensconced in their idyllic boarding school in the English countryside. News of the heroic deaths of their friends only make the war seem more exciting. It's getting all quiet on the Western Front already. Gaunt, half German, is busy fighting his own private battles, an all-consuming infatuation with his best friend, the glamorous, charming Elwood, without a clue that Elwood is pining for him in return. When Gaunt's family asks him to enlist to forestall the anti-German sentiment they face, Gaunt does so immediately, relieved to escape his overwhelming feelings for Elwood. God, Elwood rushes to join him in the front! And the rest of their classmates soon follow. Now death surrounds them in all its grim reality, often inches away, and no one knows who will be next. Is this what puts me in the grave? There's also another book, which I don't remember if this was nonfiction or not. Let me look it up. Hands of Time, A Watchmaker's History. And this one is about, I have a small obsession. It's not an obsession. It's an unexplored interest in clocks and watches. It's just time in general, right? That's very interesting to me. This book chronicles history through the invention of time-telling devices. I actually have a couple books like that. There's another book that I have, I forget its name, I'll put it right here. But it's very similar to that one. I want to read this one because I feel like last year I kind of started to get into watches and time and all of that stuff, but I never really explored it too deeply. But this one seems very interesting. And I just feel like time is such an interesting concept that I love to see fit into stories, because I feel like time is one of the most, I was saying I love tragedy, right? And I feel like time is one of the harbingers of tragedy. It's probably one of the most devastating literary vehicles for tragedy, and I just love it. I find clocks interesting just because it boggles my mind. Like, it boggles my mind how humans invented some of the things that we did. I think at least once a day I look around me at some object that I use every day, and it just breaks my cranium to think, how did someone get the idea for this? And then how did you follow up on that? Like, how did you made a car? Like, how did you make a car? You harnessed electricity? Where did you even, and by what means, and how, like, it's frankly baffling to me. So clocks are one of those things. Clocks, how did you figure out that, and it seems like the simplest thing, right? But this is just an example. How did you figure out that you could use a spring and stick some gears, some tiny ass gears, by the way, together in such a way that and figure out the exact formatting and setup for said devices in order to replicate what we call time, right? In order to replicate a human invention of a second in a physical object. I'm gonna shut up. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, this was a cake making video. I'm gonna put this stuff away because it looks as if a hydrogen bomb went off on my counter. Timer just went off. I kid you not, as soon as I put the last thing away. Let's see what they look like. I do not think those are done. There's no way. What? I did burn myself only once. I don't know. I guess I'll bring them out. I'm worried. I'm bringing it out. Oh God. Okay. I think I might have burned myself worse than I thought. Okay, so it has been, I don't actually know. I just left for a while in the hope that it would be enough time. And to start icing. Okay, how do I get the cake out of the pan? It just says frost the cake. That just seems like we're leaping a couple steps, you know? It still seems kind of warm. Guys, if this breaks, I think... Should I ice them while they're warm? Yeah. I'm going to try to remove it from its parchment prison. What if it's not cooked on the bottom? Maybe if I just turn it over. If I just put it on here. If I just, hold on. It is so undercooked. That's crazy. Or is it? I'm gonna try to frost this. I'm usually not very good at frosting things because it kind of just ends up looking really ugly. Also, this frosting has hardened quite a bit. I think I ended up putting too much sugar in it. Oh. I'm trying to not let it destroy the cake. But it's actually very difficult. It's surprisingly difficult. It's also warm, so it's like warming up the frosting and it's kind of just dripping off now. When you look at the photo, it looks like a lot of icing, like a crazy amount. I think it's just gonna melt, frankly. The way that I'm having to use my finger is something I didn't really want. It seems as if there's a lot of icing. I want you to look past that because really it's about what's on the inside, which is more icing. I just feel like there's way too much frosting. It's so funny because I could stop putting frosting on at any time, but I choose to keep going. It looks like right now, as it is, this is where we're at. As I said, we do have another layer to procure. I think I should just try to do the old plop trick again. Hey, it's not bad! I don't like how it wiggles. It doesn't want to get on the edges. It's a sentient being and it refuses my commands. So how's your day going? Like, I think you have to assert dominance over it. I think you have to handle it firmly. You have to really let it know who's in control. It's like coagulating at the bottom. I think it just needs to go in the fridge. However long it takes, that's how long. Okay, so this is the finished product. Maybe if we cut it, okay? Maybe if we cut it. I can just tell it looks better on the inside, okay? We're making incisions. It's moist. I don't know how I'm actually gonna get this on the plate. I'm not gonna actually show you how it's lava caking inside. That's actually not that bad. What it's time for now is the taste test. Okay. You know, it definitely tastes homemade. I don't know how I managed to make it taste like a box when I didn't even use the boxed mix. That's a skill on its own. Let's take a bigger bite. I think that might remedy the situation. It's something. It's definitely moist. A chocolate cake was made. I'm gonna die. I think mission accomplished. I really do. I think mission accomplished. I think we should just ignore the fact that it's lava caking. The point of it was the journey that we had along the way is the important part, and the friends we made along the way are really what matters in this situation. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I live to see another day. Hopefully I live to see the next video. Bye!